Holy moly.
Damn, dog. That was a crazy match.
It absolutely was.
That was a crazy set. Nick and I couldn't even believe it. I'm Rain Days, Hi-Rez, Pretty Hair. Incredible to see Burrito fall to Interlopers, newly formed squad, and them also just have so much success. Congratulations to them getting to the finals after, you know, a really good week last week. Make it even better. That's got to feel great as a squad, especially Spunky.
Spunky
the story
beating
there,
Burrito.
You know,
we got Smidgen and NA beating his old teammates.
I mean, this is like. This is crazy, man. The revenge kills right now coming out, just giving them that extra stamina in this game. And you know what's interesting, Nick? You know when you need that extra stamina most? You know when you really need to get the revenge kills and really make sure you're getting any kills at all? It's in the new PvE mode. Los Pollos Fernandos. Nick, you should know all about this.
It's tough. I get frustrated. It's just a bunch of Fernandos with their 5,000 damage fireballs one-shotting me, and I get pissed. I don't think I've won this once yet, actually. I haven't figured this one out.
Not the face!
But there is a weekly quest. There's an incentive to do this. I think if you win this 5 times, there's the weekly quest for 50 crystals actually on the line. So make sure you get that done before the week's over.
50 crystals? That's like a flare chest, dude.
That is.
That's an MVP
that's a free
pose.
emote.
That's a moat.
That's a free moat.
I'm all about it. Let's go to the maps. We got games coming up, people. It's D69 versus Skitlite. They're going to be trying to skip lightly to the finals, and they got a big opponent ahead of them. D69 now with no Burrito in their way could seemingly have a finals victory for once in a while on the online stages. Burrito been dominating that lately. Timbermill and Ice Mines taken off the board again.
Yep, Prague going to be the first map played here in this series. We're ready for the champion draft. Go ahead and get you guys straight on into it. This was the map we just saw played. For those of you that may just be joining us here, District69 with the first pick. Probably going to go for Makiii, but it's going to be interesting. We get to kind of see how Maeve works into this draft overall. I think she was picked in every game, maybe except one.
I think she was in every game.
Was she in every game?
I think she was in every game.
So Maeve coming in, taking the draft by storm.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. Actually, you know what? She might not have been in that one game on Stone Keep. Maybe. No, she was. She was there. Yeah, she was there.
Or was she not?
I feel like you're right. I hear what you're saying.
It out.
Yeah.
Chat will let us know.
Yeah, chat will let us know if that was the case. I think she might have been picked up in all of them, though. Skitlite with Fernando and Shaolin on the board as their selections. D69 take Makiii and follow up with now 2 picks of their own. They're getting the frontliner that's been the premier frontliner for a long time right now in Paladins. Yeah. And I think that's changed a lot of the dynamic between Burrito. And you see Drogoz there rounding out the spot. But who's next, Nick?
It could be the Ruckus. It could be Maldamba. It's going to be Maldamba here. And so Drogoz snagging this early puts Skitlite in a position where if they take the double frontliner, they're going to be more susceptible to this drag. And Spunky just doing so much damage to Burrito's double frontline composition in the previous game. You know, Burrito got Fernando Makiii and still lost. That's pretty crazy to me.
I mean, it just goes to show having the Maldamba away from the Fernando and Makiii, though, really hurt them quite a bit. Even though Bird played absolutely phenomenally on the Ying, just having that Dread Serpent combination and having the Shaolin as well, just to take care of the 2 flanks that they had very quickly. That was also, I think, determined that quite a bit. D69, though, going with Maeve at the very end. Really well-rounded roster here. Oh, man, I could see PERDO on this Maeve, man.
I could as well. I mean, Bugzy, I would be hard-pressed.
Oh, Bugzy could totally be on this as well. I've heard things.
But then who plays Drogoz? I mean, Bugzy is Drogoz.
Oh, man, Bugzy is Drogoz. You're right. You're right, man.
This is going to be a cool question to be answered here. Where does PERDO and Shipa fill in here? Because I know, Vox was telling us that Bugzy's Maeve
was unbelievable.
Is very good already. So it'll be interesting to see where it ends up, and it will be PERDO on the Maeve today, running Shred 3, Street Cred 3, and Savagery. So looking for that. Kind of the same deal for most of the Maves. The big difference is what level of Walk It Off, if at all, do you run Walk It Off?
Yeah. That's the big, and street cred as well. Like, what level of street cred do you want? We saw, Monkey ran street cred 2, 4, I believe, and then you see, Lazy running 2. You see here PERDO running 3, Shred 3 as well. He's gonna get the cooldown on the pounce, but really wanting the heals off of pounce, so not looking to lie like Lemonade says he doesn't use the pounce for damage and then use it. He's actually looking to use it from the very beginning and get the healing off of that. 280 each successful hit, and you can basically get those 2 in a row if you reactivate 9 lives on Maeve.
have to see. Not finding any marks just yet. Just look for that long-range poke. You know, Maeve doesn't have any fall-off damage. Pounce to reposition here, but Maeve cannot box with Fernando, taking a lot of damage as the shield already. Pounce could go through here, and it will be. She'll actually take him out with the knives. Didn't even need to use the pounce. Now into the back line. Gonna easily be able to clean that one up. A nice pounce into waters. Put the double jump back onto the map. Able to trade out still, though. Bugzy cleaning the rest of this fight up. Double kill for him. Landing rockets onto Makiii in the back line. Bugzy's Drogoz is nuts.
Waters in second just paid so much attention, with the point being 1-0 D69 advantage of Skitlite now. He attracted so much attention, PERDO's Maeve, and then what ended up happening was they didn't deal with bugzy. I mean, Shaolin is there to not deal with Maeve. He wants to deal with the aerial threats. He's got essentially the sniper-like accuracy and damage to be able to get Drogoz out of the air, but bugzy was just free flying right there, and especially with the Cassie going down, it was not a good look for them.
Salvo comes out just to put some feelers out. Does get the detection hit there, so he knows he's still back there. Long-range fire spit, pinpoint accurate as always. And that right there, that mid-flight fire spit is so difficult to do, to hold your flight perfectly still, land those, and that is what this Masterclass Drogoz player brings to the table here. The salvo just to clean up Fernando, and the big change to salvo there, making those explosions about the size of explosive flasks. A lot easier to hit, a lot easier to confirm that roughly 1,800 damage if you hit every rocket. And you know, Bugzy's just one of the biggest proponents of changing salvo for a long time. You know, one of the best parts about this esport, these players are very active. They're very, you know, they communicate with us, they communicate with the design team, what they think could improve certain champions and what they think is weak. Bugzy, a big point for him was fix Drogoz's salvos. The designers made some changes to that, Nick. Maybe walk us through those changes and why, you know, we're seeing salvo so used right now. Because it's so useful for killing shields. It always has been, but it oftentimes wasn't worth enough because it's one of the longest cooldowns in the game, and it wasn't particularly easy to hit. It still had the same kind of fall off that the other, like his left click had, basically. So it just wasn't worth using as opposed to the left click. And now, you know, it does triple damage to shield, so it's always been good at that. But what they did is made it come out quicker, so you get all the 6 rockets out quicker, so you don't have to be as exposed to launch it. And they made the explosion radius bigger, so not only you can use it to find some damage, but it's so easy to just launch that into a point fight and find a ton of poke.
My God, Shipa and PERDO get absolutely wrecked here by second and sorsa. Skitlite coming back with some vengeance of their own, and oh God, gerrah is in trouble himself. He does get a heal on the Bugzy. Will this dragon be able to finish it off? That's one. But he's got 4 more to deal with. Or is he just going to fly back, wait for his team? There's Shaolin with the mid-air impale.
To safety.
Exactly what he's meant to do, though. That's exactly what Shaolin needs to be doing. Keeping Bugzy out of the air. 74% now. This could be a dead Bugzy. If they're smart, they're going to try and kill him. He does, though, get the kill on the WesTo and stay alive here. This is bad news bears for Skitlite.
81% on the point for them, though. District69 lead 2-0. They were able to cap and convert in the first round very quickly. There's a big impale off the back of the Heat Haze. PERDO gets shut down. Bugzy has no idea where this Shaolin is. The Heat Haze coming in big. That's 2 kills off the back of that. Here comes the Planet, finding a lot of damage, but hooked out almost immediately into the Dread Serpent. Goes Waters. He's going to be cleaned up by Shipa. District69 are clawing their way back.
Great target prioritization and focus there as well, shifting the attention onto Waters, that masterclass Shaolin. You better watch out for him. Don't let him get back in this fight. His respawn just happened, but 99% on the objective, and a great Immortal to stall out a few things. But will Fernando fall? WesTo does go down to Bugzy, and now it is all D69 unless sorsa can make a big kill, and that big kill is made. Bugzy goes down.
But District69 still with the numbers advantage in a big way. 3 for 1 is not the trade Skitlite we're looking for. PERDO gets taken out here, and the respawn's coming through for Skitlite. They have a great chance here to take this one back. 99 to 99, but the hook
unbelievable
from eLvenpath stalls out the Fernando long enough, and District69 go up 3-0.
It really looked like they had a chance there, Nick, but just eLvenpath with the quick reactions, the awareness, turns his body around, hooks Fernando away. You know, Fernando able to really position himself correctly there, might have been able to keep the shield up, stop from being hooked, but eLvenpath, despite that, he positioned himself behind and just was able to take advantage of that open backside of Fernando's and just pull him away. 2 minutes now on the objective. 3-0 for D69. Skitlite need to hold here.
2 minutes remain. PERDO throwing down some poke. A lot of damage coming back, though, from Shaolin, from Cassie. gerrah trying to get in, heal Bugzy. Actually gets knocked off the map by second. Second finding 2 kills before trading out with Shipa.
Great stuff by Shipa here on the payload card. This is just riding dirty as the turret. He's going to go ahead and activate Repulsor Field to help bugzy, but he cannot save his life. He takes a spot by Shaolin. Waters is there, and Waters is actually no more. Makes Shipa going along with him. So 2 members back to base. District69 now forced to regroup. They're going to save some time, Nick, and just not attempt to try this and just not get poked out. They're just going to wait till they're a 5-man again.
Dragon Punch is ready. Midnight is ready, so District69 could use this here to punch this through. You know, given how far ahead they are on their ultimate charges right now, I see District69 going for the 4-0 sweep right now. Midnight in combination with the Dragon Punch Makii's Ancient Rage is ready to go. Dread Serpent just got topped off, and a 2-for-1 is a great way to start this team fight.
From downtown, eLvenpath with these hooks, and great shot by sorsa. Is he gonna find it again? Almost gets the kill on to Maldamba, but he's not able to pick off gerrah, unfortunately, and that will mean that D69 get a very clean victory going into game 2. So much easier than Burrito had of a time dealing with their rounds. In fact, Burrito right now, we're looking at a 1-0 loss, right, in the face. Yeah. So D69 really looking to take advantage of this moment where Burrito are finally knocked out. Could be their finals.
Coming out swinging is PERDO on the Maeve for 31,000 damage. bugzy, however, going to be leading this game at 42,000. The Drogoz, the Fire Spits are always on point. The Rockets are often on point as well. Just a little bit more control around the point, I feel, with eLvenpath being able to do what he does best, play that aggro tank style, and Shipa holding down the point. Just keeping District69 ahead, giving every inch that they can.
We have I think, sorsa, Second Waters, Makiii, and WesTo getting a little bit too late to these fights, the crucial aspects of the fights. You know, they're getting these clutch pickups on PERDO, on bugzy, but they're happening just a little too late than when they really want to. Maybe when WesTo's forced to already immortal and he doesn't have much health left. You know, if they can start off these fights with these clutch picks, they're going to be in such a better situation. But we kind of saw them win that fight after D69 already had 30 or 40% on the objective. That was, I think, what was holding them back in this round. But we will be ready for the map screen in just a second to be able to see where they'll take game 2 and what type of champion differences, what type of map differences or strategy differences they'll be able to bring into this one.
Serpent Beach will be the map, and, you know, District69, I just liked their team fight better in terms of their ultimates. They have every ultimate there can win a team fight. Midnight is so good. Dragon Punch, you got Ancient Rage, you got Hexafire, you got Dread Serpent. All of those are heavy hitting, whereas, you know, you look at Scout, you look at Illusory Rift, Ice Storm, Immortal, you look at
that's
Heat
a lot.
Haze. I mean, none of those kill anyone.
No.
Right? It's all just like set up defensive utility stuff. Whereas like when you're ahead as District69 with those heavy hitting ultimates, it's going to be that much harder to come back. On top of being on Frog Isle, you're going to get snowballed out of control every single game.
Very, very interesting too. You know, you look at some of these champions as we head into the champion draft. You mentioned a great word, utility. You know, I feel like almost every ultimate could have a class of its own, right? Damage, utility, I mean, healing, right? I mean, you could go into these rounds almost where the cards are, right? You know, defensive, right? Yeah. You know, Fernando. And I think that's really interesting to look at because you don't even look at the championship draft. You look at when you look at the ultimate battle, how do those ultimates align? You know, they did have a little bit too much, I think, of defensive utility there and not enough damage to be able to really go ahead and impact those big fights when it came down to the wire. But here are the picks already. Makiii, first pick for Skitlite now. District69 will settle with Drogoz and Fernando.
So Skitlite, and this great start to a draft from District69 getting the Drogoz. So if Skitlite go to the double frontliner, it'll be, you know, dealt with. bugzy's expert at dealing with that. It will be the Bow twins there, Shaolin and Cassie, leaving up Maldamba, leaving up Maeve, leaving up Ruckus. So District69, frankly, have their pick of the litter.
Well, this is a good pick, remember, because of the Cassie being able to counter Maeve's ultimate. They're kind of opting, they're saying, okay, go ahead, pick it. That ult is going to be so much less effective on your team now than if it's on our team. Now, doubtful Skitlite will grab Maeve here, but they don't have a flanker. They have an opportunity to grab a healer and Maeve if they want to. Just depends if they're going to go that route. Pretty aggressive in my eyes if they would.
Ying still on the table as well. So that will likely be their healer, and Drox is locked in. That's going to be their choice of flanker, given their pick of the litter here. So they had the Eevee, they had the Maeve. They had the sky, and they go to the Androx.
They had the buck. They could have bucked, man.
They could have.
They should be bucking. They're bucking up.
Bucking up out here. Maybe they.
And they give the Maeve.
And there's the Maeve.
I think maybe they wanted to leave the Maeve on the table.
Yeah.
Because they take the Cassie for that.
Scout countering Midnight. It's not like, all right, Maeve's useless now. Right?
No, she's not useless. No, you're right.
It's a nice counter. It's a nice touch. It's a nice thing. But honestly, I feel like Maeve has been getting her ultimate charged up quicker than Cass. It's almost like Dragon Punch and Immortal, right?
Yeah.
You know, one counters the other, but Dragon Punch coming up so much more often than Immortal.
Yeah.
And even still, you know, if you Dragon Punch a full health Fernando, it still does a ton of, it still does like 4,000 damage.
PERDO's actual loadout seems to have, did it change? I had a feeling he was only running Street Cred 2 here. Now I'm seeing Street Cred.
That's
No,
the same.
he has Street Cred 3. So still going with the same loadout. Interesting to see what is bugzy's loadout here, if we can hover over that. Because of the changes of salvo, there are a couple cards that allow you to salvo a little more often. Wondering if he's grabbed that.
Salvo cooldown 1 second
He's
reduced
got
for every
too.
player hit, so he can get a maximum of 6 seconds off of the cooldown of his salvo here if he hits all the rockets, and it's not that difficult to do. But going for that thrill of the hunt 4, so anytime he gets a killing blow onto someone, he's going to get that free thrust.
Really putting a lot of points into that as well, prioritizing getting those kills. I mean, Bugzy must feel confident that his Drogoz is pretty good or something. I don't know. We'll see. First blood goes the way to Waters, though. So D69 is going to have to be careful here, despite how good we all know Bugzy's Drogoz is. Fire spit hits 4. So much damage. Misses on the other one, though. But these rockets are so deadly. And here comes the salvo. It's ready if he wants to use it, and that thrust is already available for him to be used. There it is, the reset. Oh boy, Bugzy's just a monster on this Drogoz.
God, I wish I could play this character like that. Fire spits time and time again, direct impacts on long distance targets. I mean, it's just so difficult to deal with. This character does so much damage if you're connecting on everything, and it's like the Bomb King. These blasters are incredibly dangerous in a vacuum when you're hitting your shots, and Bugzy is just leaving us all breathless.
I mean, imagine if he was so fast you couldn't hit him. I mean, that would be
rough.
That would be rough. I hope that, you know, is not what he. I'm glad he got the booster reduction, because this is already so strong here. He is at a point in his career. Bugzy feels confident on a lot of different champions, but Drogoz has been the one that has always been a mainstay for him and the Paladins. And here comes the curse of the commentator. One midair shot on an Androxus, though. Seems like Second is the one running away.
Later, dude.
And boy, oh boy, his Drogoz is so good. Not even the curse of the commentator can stop his killing spree here.
Not even the curse of the commentator. Not even the worst matchup in the game. Androxus is the best character to deal with Drogoz, but not when he's landing direct impacts like this. Dragon Punch ready to go. Feels like it has been for a while now, far and away ahead of a lot of other ultimates in the game. 1:22 still on the payload push here. About 65–70% of the way through is District69. Waters poked out for the time being. Second, pressuring Bugzy now, starting to get a couple of pop shots, but so much healing from this Maldamba. He's ready to go once again.
Got to say that there's been an incredibly good performance on the side of PERDO, keeping all of the teammates on Skitlite, you know, Waters in second, just not focused onto Bugzy, which has been giving Drogoz so much room to be in the air and affect this fight from both mid, long, and short range without much contest. That is really, I think, one of the goals Shaolin brings to this roster, and he's not able to do it because PERDO's just running at him so often.
36 seconds remain here for D69. Have a lot of ultimates up, but so do Skitlite here. 23% on the Illusory Rift. I guess she popped that. I doubt that's because she's not getting enough ultimate charge here. Midnight is going to be popped here. District69 looking to go in, finding the angles here. Immediate dash into the reset there. eLvenpath finds the first kill on to Makiii. Hooked out of the sky, but able to trade out. Is paired out before going down. Gerrah and Bugzy now rotating into the fight. Dread Serpent is available here. The full wipe from Skitlite here. Looks like it will be conversion for D69 in round number 1.
Still no points dropped for D69, and it is you know, going to be a tough battle up now. Skitlite on this map. Serpent Beach not looking to be any different than what happened on Frog Isle. They've got to change something, Nick. They've got to adjust their play style. They've got 3 ultimates on the board here. That could make a difference.
It's Bugsy's having one of those games right now, I feel, where It's almost like, you know, when LeBron or Curry's having one of those games, you just can't do a lot to stop it.
Yeah.
It's got to be on the back of second right now. We saw this last weekend, too, when bugzy had Kinessa and there was no answer to him. There was destroy. There was no hope for his opponents, and it's kind of the same thing that's happening right now. And with all their ultimates on the board, except the Midnight, PERDO gets that charged up extremely quickly. I don't see District69 losing this fight.
eLvenpath misses the hook, though. It's a good start for them, so they'll have at least 18% without getting somebody fed to the dogs by Makiii. And he looks like he's swung the Ancient Rage axe already. Here's the Dragon Punch, looking to finish off the Fernando. And bugzy will actually take down second in his place. WesTo goes down thanks to Shipa, and a great stun, but it will not last for long onto bugzy. So he will stay alive, and it will be all D69 here. 87%, and not one percentage from Skitlite. Not one toe stepped onto the objective.
And shout outs to gerrah there for not only landing the Mending Spirits onto bugzy as he's thrusting, but then continues to rotate into the fight to body block if need be. The need didn't arise, but gerrah was there, and those are the tiny little things you can do as a support player to really sway the difference in your fight. Double kill for PERDO, 2v1 in the back line, and this is the momentum that District69 are looking for. You can see eLvenpath rotating around this fight, looking to get in, cleaning up on the retreating sorsa, and the snowball is starting to look real here. Already halfway through the payload push with 2 minutes remaining here. Big fire spit potential could come out, but hooked. Can't get the follow-up rocket. Finally taken out as bugzy.
That is exactly what they needed there. That's what they need to find on the back of WesTo's support. But they haven't been able to do that lately. He's been missing a lot of those, and gerrah as well as Shipa have just been able to keep themselves alive and stay effective in these fights much longer than Skitlite would have liked. There is the Immortal coming out from Fernando. D69 trying to make sure that everyone stays alive to defend here. Bugzy comes in. Sorsa goes down as a response. Shipa, 81 health, has to pull back and advance away, and he will stay alive. But bugzy over here just doing work, landing all these rockets. The fire spit and hitting 3 there. Jeez. 2 of them being a Yin Cologne, actually. 1 in mid-air onto Sorsa. Nick, stand up. It's not gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be okay, buddy. There's bugzy. He gets taken down. The fire spit. This is a highlight reel if I've ever seen one. Holy moly.
I mean,
damn, dog.
It's just one of the, whoa. It's just, there's a salvo to shut down. That's just one of those days. That is just one of those days, one of those games. Nothing you can do if you're Skitlite in that situation. Nothing. There's nothing you can do. Triple fire spit, 2 directs onto Androxus. Dragon punch. Salvo shuts down the accursed arm off the respawn. 2 directs into Shaolin while he's implanted. I mean, God bless.
This week on Nick's pick,
featuring bugzy slaughtering everyone by himself.
Oh my God, dude.
I guess, you know, it's funny too, because bugzy was like, this character's dead. You guys killed him. And then he does that.
This is what he wanted to do.
19-2.
I mean, we gave him salvo back, and then this is what he does to us. This is what he does to Skitlite.
Give an inch takes a mile there.
It's like give a guy, you know. I'm sorry. I was watching too many other horror games, man. I can't make that kind of a reference. That was a little dark, actually, a little morbid. We're going to move on. Fantastic stats by all of these teams, though. But it is time to get back into the action. Jaguar Falls. Jaguar Falls will be where we play this next game. Nick, and what do you think about Jaguar Falls here for bugzy and his squad? D69 looking very strong right now.
I mean, Drogoz is a phenomenal pick on a lot of maps here, but especially so here on Jaguar Falls. Fire spit pressures. It is a dominant force.
Absolutely. Especially when you have the player of a caliber like bugzy being able to just come through and nail those mid-air fire spits. We're ready for the champion draft here. It's time to get going on Jaguar.
Thanks to GGJ and Vox for joining us there to cast that.
It was great that they were able to just step in for like a couple seconds and just be, thank you guys.
And now they're gone.
I know that was hard, but thank you.
They're quick.
They are quick.
Makiii selected here, first pick for D69. I don't see that changing for some time here, but you never know what could come up in the next patch. Fernando will be the response alongside Drogoz. Gotta get that away from bugzy.
Jeez,
gotta get that away.
Holy moly, damn dog. That is just much too much for Skitlite to handle. They say, we will take that, sir. This time I will have Drogoz. I have never played him, and I will take him because I cannot let you be having this dragon on your squad. Shaolin, Maldaba selected on D69 now, and that's a really good pairing, not only of damage, but of healing, and they've got a great frontliner here. D69's draft, very strong right now. Let's see what Skitlite can do to respond.
Another thing that District69, we're open to seeing maybe bugzy play Maeve this time around. That could be a possibility that comes through as they've locked in their damage, their healer, and their tank, so still in need of a flanker, but Skitlite going to get the Maeve. So the Ruckus, I definitely think, is going to come out at this point.
Yeah.
And Drox is still on the table. That is definitely a good pick. We saw Eliminate have a phenomenal game on Jaguar Falls with Androxus, and one of the best in the world at doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see, but it will be the Buck.
He's a well, you know, eLvenpath likes to play the Buck, but PERDO can play a great Buck as well.
That's true. That's very true.
And so Makiii is probably still going to be eLvenpath here. And now the question is, where are they going to end up? Shipa could still be on to that. Puts bugzy on the Shaolin if gerrah stays on the Maldamba, which is interesting. I haven't seen a lot of bugzy Shaolin.
Yeah, I mean, if you can hit the Drogoz projectile as slow as that is, I don't think he's going to have any trouble.
No, probably not. Probably not.
A lot of the you know, Cassie and Shaolin, and even Maeve is almost there to the point where they are projectile characters, but the lead time isn't super heavy. It's really that Bomb King, the Drogoz, and the Eevee that you really got to be really good at leading to be successful with those characters. You are correct, though. It will be PERDO on the Buck, Shipa on Shaolin, gerrah
bugzy on Ruckus.
On Maldamba, Elvin on Makiii, and bugzy on Ruckus.
Wow, that is an odd change, but hey, it's a welcome change as well. Get to see some Ruckus bugzy. Let's take a look at the side of Skitlite. They've got Sorsa on Maeve, Waters on Cassie, Makiii on Drogoz, WesTo on Fernando, and second on Ying as we head out to this capture point. It's 2-0. Nick, D69 can clean it up right here.
Trying to find an answer. Skitlite have 3 cauterizes, 2 wreckers here, and it's defense and utility for District69. The morale boost, that's a confident pickup here for Maldamba. Only 1 offensive item, so District69, they are feeling themselves right now.
I love Bugzy's scouting trip. He just took to the right and just said, what's happening? Where's this fight? I think I can get on this objective and still impact it. One of the best parts about Jaguar Falls and being able to be here at this moment, especially as a Ruckus, you can impact fights on the left and the right side while still capturing this objective, while being as tanky as possible. It's a great map for him. Even when he was underrated, it's been a great map for him. 69% and counting. It's starting to look like a great map for D69. PERDO in the back line, and he sees the target. He wants to go, lands the jump damage, but can he finish it off? PERDO mid-air takes down Makiii, and the fight continues.
Moving now on to Ying. Gonna be able to get her unless she has the dimensional link. Will be eLvenpath now on a double kill. Bugzy's been on the point this entire time, 99%, and now captured just 1 minute and 45 seconds into the round. And now the Maeve Buck is a matchup we haven't had the pleasure of seeing. I actually haven't played that matchup, I think, but 1 time, but Buck, I think, has what it takes to keep up with Maeve and as well as trade with her. But sorsa does have the cauterize online, and PERDO doesn't. And with the pounce healing in combination with 9 lives and the second pounce, Maeve will actually have over 3,000 effective HP in a fight.
Oh, look at the B, though. That wasn't even for, that was not for vision. That was just a B. That tells me a lot of things, Nick. That tells me that they are confident. I think that's why they made the switch. I think that's why, you know, you see some of the aggressive item selections like morale boost. I think they feel that they're just better than this team. Despite the picks, despite all the drafts, it's like, give us any champions, we will be able to beat this squad. And to be fair, they've proven that again and again. They have been the second best team, sometimes the best team in Europe, the entire history of Paladins esports. Now looking to maybe get a chance at #1 this week with Burrito dropping down. There's 1 minute and 20 seconds though that they've still got to push this into the payload to make it 2-0.
Dread Serpent could be big here if gerrah elects to go for that on the backside. Sorsa doesn't have Midnight available to him, just trying to throw out some poking knives here, but gerrah taking a lot of damage, gets the Dread Serpent off, so he gives his team the opportunity to win the fight before going down. Ancient Rage pop from eLvenpath as well. He's able to clean up Sorsa. Dragon Punch still available here. Does he charge it up in the fray of in the heat of the fight here? Bugzy picking up Makiii. Doesn't look like it's going to be that way. D69 looking for the conversion, but they get stopped for the first time in this series.
48 seconds, but they've only got a few inches to go. Second, and the side of Skitlite looking to secure a couple of kills, at least for now, to stave off these attackers who are running rampant on them in this series. Buck on the right-hand side is highlighted, but he's just gonna wait for his teammates. Bugzy's in the back line too. He's gonna start zoning with his machine guns, and D69, they've got an interesting decision here. Do we go for it? Do we spend our ultimates? Or do we wait for next round and give this a 1-1 tie?
They kind of already have. They spent Ancient Rage. They spent the Dread Serpent as well. They're only about halfway back on both of those ultimates with only 8 seconds here. Skitlite put themselves in a good spot here with that strong defense.
So go big or go home, essentially, right? They've got 2 more. Should they use? They've got 3 more. They've got only 1 more now, considering the others are down. Buck Wild could be impactful here, but how confident is PERDO that he can get a kill? He's going to jump into the back line, see what he can do, but right now it is only him and eLvenpath alive. But how long can they keep this alive is the question. Finally. Because that could mean the difference. I mean, no, it's going to be nothing.
Sorsa's just free firing there for all 3 of those kills, and that can't be allowed to continue there. Maeve is too dangerous, puts out too much damage if allowed to free fire. Gets the ultimate charge back up, top it all up. Barely enough credits.
While you talk about this? Can we just look at the deck?
Barely enough credits there for Cauterize too. We'll see what the Maeve loadout is. It's kind of been the theme throughout the day that they're going for more of the sustain, the pounce, yeah, shred 4, savagery as well. That's my loadout. I run that loadout. No, I don't run Street Runner. But pretty dang close to my loadout there. That's going to be just going for that sustain off the off the pounce rather. Sorsa not afraid to use that for damage, and I think that's the right call.
Yeah.
It's 600 unavoidable blast, or not direct damage that goes through all shields. So able to penetrate Fernando's shield and Drogoz reversal, shell shield, barricade, all that good stuff.
And also you see just the similarities. Now Spitfire 2 almost seeming like a staple in EU with the new changes to Salvo, giving him that extra chance. And Makiii, a fantastic Drogoz at that, looking to find a kill himself. Will he be able to pick one up? There it is. Makiii finds gerrah, but although Thrill of the Hunt reactivated his thrust, he had never used it, but he had never been given a chance. Goes down immediately thanks to bugzy and Shipa's pressure. Now it seems that there's a fight going on the point, but will PERDO be able to out-battle this? Cassie Waters gets taken down.
Shot.
The god, PERDO, doing everything that he can for his team to get this advantage. And 63%, it's looking real good for D69.
Holds the ultimate as well. The ultimate does reset Buck's cooldown, so if he was feeling pressure there, he could have popped his ultimate to not only get more damage, but to reset the cooldown on his recovery to get some sustain there, but wisely holding on to that one. He's been holding on to it for a while now. I would like to see him, you know, pop it through sooner rather than later here. Plenty of time left on the payload push here. We could see them go. He's kind of left alone here, starting to take a lot of damage, so I don't think it would be wise to pop it at that point.
It's so interesting with that ult because, you know, you get into the Torvald range where if you don't use it, right, a lot of people do this with Torvald, if you don't use it, you just hold it for 2-3 rounds. It's like, well, what the heck is it for? You could have charged it up 3 more times, found a lot of value. At least just use it. But with Buck, it's just like, where's the right moment? There's a lot of times you can get an easy kill normally, and when you want to use it when you're under duress, you could die so quickly. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to use it, and then just die immediately, which can happen very often.
Look how much ground Skitlite are just giving up to District69. They're immediately pulling all the way back to their base to try and hold this payload. A lot of times you'll see teams fight out in the courtyard in front of the base to try and, you know, salvage something from it, but immediately giving up about 90% of the payload push is Skitlite. Hexifier comes out 2 for 1 right now. PERDO goes out in the back line. Ancient Rage is here. Dredge Anchor is off cooldown, and eLvenpath nails it. There's the conversion as well. District69 find it going up 3-1 with a chance to close out the set. And I mean, when you give up 90% of the payload push for free, I mean, when is that the right call?
I don't know, Nick. You pointed it out really cutely that they were giving up a lot of extra space. And eLvenpath and bugzy, rather than sit and just say, okay, great, let's just stay on the payload and push it, they go and they aggress even more. They take more space. And then they combine a hook into a Hexifier, which is a great combo we don't see very often. We usually see hook in a Grumpy Bomb. We see hook into a lot of other situational CC things, but not so much Hexifier. But that's a great way to secure somebody goes down.
Absolutely. Cauterize 3's online now for bugzy. Cauterize 2 for PERDO. A couple of defensive options being capped off. Shipa with the Haven, just trying to stay alive, I think, against sorsa. Not a lot of options to go into life rip or anything like that, as sorsa does have Cauterize 2 online. These teams are starting to clash here, but District69 just so far ahead. There's the Dragon Punch right off the bat. eLvenpath, not much he can do in that situation. That's fine to just take it and move on.
Good thing he didn't use Ancient Rage as well. And in fact, Makiii may be a little ahead of himself there because the Ancient Rage will come back. They've gotten themselves a good advantage here, but the Buck Wild could be monstrously impactful. He's got to make sure that he uses his recovery to stay alive, get that lifesteal potential, heal up over time, and also just be able to battle out. And man, he is just taking Waters to school right now. This jump could be so effective. Oh, delays it though. I think he was delaying that, Nick, to be honest. Like because Cassie could dodge roll off of that. And so he might have just tried to stall out her timing, but either way, ends up getting the kill, and he wins that 1v1 yet again.
Yep, 57% now for District69, 63 and rolling here. Skitlite apprehensive to move back in. Buck Wild still, I don't think, has been popped. Midnight here could be a good opportunity for PERDO on the Buck to use it. sorsa trying to get in on this Rook out. 9 lives to heal herself. Pops the Prowl just to get out. Doesn't have any cooldowns available to her. Might lose this trade and does. That is big. PERDO, meanwhile, popping Buck Wild. Finally gets the double kill. And he is looking for more. Won't be able to get that one as District69 clean sweep through this series. 4-0, 4-0, and 4-0 over Skitlite.
I mean, we had the games of destiny happening in the other semifinals, and now we have, you know, the games of just mediocrity kind of coming out here. It's just a clean sweep for D69. Skitlite not really putting up the challenge that we saw Interlopers put up. And it begs the question here, how strong is D69 in general? And how strong are they against BurritoZ? Because remember, D69 faced Interlopers again last round and were able to just get by them. If it had been BurritoZ last weekend, would BurritoZ have made it to the finals? We don't really know the power rankings yet and how strong really D69 is. Are they going to clean sweep Interlopers here coming up in this next set?
That definitely will set the tone, I think. Maeve definitely has thrown the draft off.
Yep.
You know, contrary to Torvald, who we don't really see that much.
And EU especially.
This throws the draft into a loop because people, you know, if they need to pick this character, it throws off, you know, District69 very similar. The HRH draft was more or less the same every single time here. And, you know, now playing new rosters where BurritoZ has only really been used to beating D69 in the finals, they have to start fighting new styles here and fighting old teammates who are now toppling them.
Now with champion draft getting more expansive and extensive with 17 new champions coming in 2017, you're going to have so many more counters and so many different varieties. Every single champion is going to exponentially increase the amount of varieties of different, you know, compositions you can create. Nick, you know, people also tell me that you look a lot like one of the champions in the game right now. They say you look a lot like Maldamba, actually. No, wait, no, not Maldamba.
That's you,
Fernando.
Dog.
That's
Damn,
me.
Dog.
That's the black joke? What was that? Wow. I'm offended.
Wow, the black guy.
Let me go advertise
joke.
this. Los Pollos
Classic.
Fernando. The PvE challenge, Nick, it's a lot of fireballs, it's a lot of chickens, and it's a lot of fun. Make sure you do this because you'll be able to get some extra crystals if you complete it.
Does
so
that
you want to
chicken
go
have
there.
legs? Like, if you harvested that chicken, would it have, like, the drumstick?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Or is he just little nubs?
Are you really thinking about eating that thing, man? I don't know.
He's too cute. Absolutely not.
He is too cute. Yeah, I can't do it.
Too cute, boys.
I can't do it to him. Too cute. We had some great games. We'll be back for the finals coming up. Interlopers versus D69. We'll see you after the break.